Well, good morning guys. I've just made a batch of neem oil solution, 0.5% in this 2 litre bottle, so that's 10 ml in 2 litres of water with a little blob of washing up liquid in. So this is the stuff I've got. And here's the flit sprayer. So again, this is just after watching Terry King's battle against, well, various pests really, but in particular the leaf beet miner. So I'm off down to the plot now to spray the beets and the chard and the fruit bushes and what have you. Anyway, so I'll crack on, get it done, and I'll catch you down there. Well, I've pretty much sprayed everything on the beds, and I've got most of the fruit bushes done and some of the fruit trees before it ran out on me. So I've got the micro orchard to do yet. Probably do that later. I'm really impressed with the flit spray, I have to say. It's an incredibly fine spray. Just looking at them, there doesn't seem to be any signs of the beet leaf miner. Let's look over here. Yeah, so far so good. So we'll see how we're going with that. So this is frame number 1, sweet candle, and there are a few gaps. I've got them thinned out yesterday, so I've bought myself another packet of seed. It's Autumn King 2 variety. So what I'll do is where the gaps are, I'll just sow some fresh seed of that variety, and hopefully that'll make up the gaps. And I'll do the same in that frame there. They're all pretty much come through now. So they've yet to be thinned out, but I'll do the same. I'll sow extra seed to make up. I've got the potatoes. This is my only raw potatoes, variety Rocket. But I decided with the cold weather for the next few days, well, Sunday night, tonight, tomorrow night, it wasn't worth taking the chance, so I covered them with fleece. But they look to be fine, and I also had a rethink. I've got a row of leeks in there, and I squeezed another row in here. This multi-sown spinach is brilliant. It's a variety called Lazio, L-A-Z-I-O. It's just, I get it from Wilco's. It's about £1 a packet, and I've already about 3 or 4 cuts off this already. So I've had a walk over onto the micro orchard. Need to get these sweet peas. Just put a bit of string round and just tie them on, just so it helps them start scrambling up these poles. Just noticed that the gooseberries are doing really well now. Let's see, they do have, I'm going to spray these as well. See, I mentioned it in the last video, tips curling up, but in theory you could just pinch that out. It wouldn't be catastrophic. So that's better. So they just tied them in just to help them scramble up. Even on here, these haven't been spared. Probably pea weevil. But hopefully I'll just get them up a little bit, they'll be fine. Just having a quick look at some of the whip and tongue. These are whip and tongue grafts, and it looks like there's movement in that bud on that scion. Not sure about this one. Let's go and have a look at the others. So I'm back on the plot, and I had a question from a chap called Len, or a request to follow up on the Cordon gooseberries. So I've actually pulled one out, and you can see that it's got a few roots on, not many. These were taken from hardwood cuttings, but that's the weakest one. You can see where there's just 3 buds there, but there's not a lot of growth at all. So if we look at the other 3, so let's take this one for an example. So you've got to, just trying to get in, it's quite difficult. 1 bud there, a 2nd bud, sorry about this, it's here, and then this top bud, just try to move to a better angle maybe, that's the strongest one, so that would be the leader. So all you would do is, with these lower buds, take this one here for example, all you got to do is just pinch out that growing tip and do it on camera, like so. So that would become a fruiting spur, but what it means is that the energy is going to be diverted into this top bud, and that's going to become the leader for your cordon. So you would just do the same on the, you know, if the lower bud starts growing away but it actually looks like it's going to turn into a fruit bud, so that's the leader there. So you just continue growing this up, put a cane in, tie it to the cane or something, give it a little bit of support. So similarly, you know, these other ones aren't as strong, but actually looking at this one now, this is the lower bud, that one's the top bud, and the sort of middle one, if you will. You can see it's actively growing there, so that's the strongest bud. So in this case I want to focus energy on that one and prevent the top one and the lower one from growing away too strongly. And then on this one, all 3 buds look to be equal at the moment, so for now I wouldn't take any action with that, I'd just leave that as it is. So I hope that's helpful, Len. Thanks very much for your question. I will keep following these up, by the way. So another thing we're going to try this year, this is after watching Steve over at Greenwell, Digwell Green Fingers, thinning shallots. So I've just taken those 2 out of this clump, so there were 6 in there, so I'm going to leave 4 to a clump, if you will. So for example, I don't know, have a look at that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's about 7 in there, so again I'm going to take 3 out of there. Okay, so that's what I've done. Lifted him down to 4 in a clump. See what happens. There's a whole bundle of spring onions there now. And I've got, I might do the other, I've got 2 rows there. So I might do those in the next day or 2. They've split quite a lot actually. Right, that's it, we'll leave it there for now. I'll catch you later. Doesn't look like much moving on these. Obviously the sap is coming up, so whether I just haven't got the union very good or, but we'll leave them a bit longer. I'll just show you some rind grafts. So I put 3 lots of rind grafts on this tree, so all of the same variety I think it was. So that one's looking good. That one's got life in it. Get around the other side. and this one here. So 3 out of 3 looks pretty good to me. So I just pulled that off the pear tree. Not exactly sure, could be some kind of leaf blister mite. I noticed there's several leaves are infected, so I'll just remove those and burn them, put them in the incinerator. Don't want to leave that on, I guess. On the blackcurrant, this is another type of blister mite, but it's nothing too serious. I think it doesn't really affect the bush at all, so I'm not going to take any action with that. But you can see how aphids have congregated at the tips, very similar to broad beans, so you could pinch the tip out, but I say I'm going to come back with some more neem oil and give all these a spray. So this is the Victoria plum that I actually grafted onto a wild plum, which I don't know how well you can make it out. Let's see if we can get in and have a look. You see that? So this is one here, and then on the other side there's another one there. And it actually has got some fruit on it this year. But what I need to do at some point, if I can, is get down into this, cut all that there is the wild plum rootstock sending new shoots, so I need to keep cutting that back so it doesn't get out of hand, and I want the roots energy to go into this tree. It's looking healthy.